Commander Zekthor of the Vraxian Imperial Fleet had seen battle across 40 star systems. His chitinous plates bore the scars of 100 engagements, and his tactical acumen was legendary among the 300 species of the galactic concordat. When the sensor officer announced an unknown vessel approaching their blockade of the Kepler 442 system, Zekthor barely lifted his compound eyes from the tactical display. "Classification?" he asked, his mandibles clicking with practiced boredom. "Unknown configuration, Commander. Approximately 800 meters in length. Primitive fusion drive signature. No match in our databases." Zekthor's interest peaked slightly. Primitives were rare this far into Concordat space. "Hail them. Inform them they are in violation of Concordat Security Zone Theta 9 and must surrender immediately." The response came in a language the translator struggled with momentarily before parsing it into Vraxian. "This is Captain Elena Vasquez of the UESS Indomitable. We don't recognize your authority in this system. We're here for our colonists, and we're not leaving without them." A ripple of amusement passed through the Vraxian bridge crew. Zekthor's flagship, the Claw of Dominion, was 3 times the size of the human vessel and backed by 7 cruisers. This human, if that's what they called themselves, was either suicidal or ignorant. "You will comply or be destroyed," Zekthor transmitted. "Your vessel is outmatched. Do not force us to demonstrate our superiority." There was a pause. Then Captain Vasquez's voice returned, tinged with something Zekthor's translator flagged as dark humor. "Superiority? You blockaded a civilian colony and took hostages. Where I come from, that's called cowardice, not superiority. But if you want a demonstration, we're happy to provide one." Zekthor's neck frill flared in anger. "Weapons officer, target their propulsion systems. Fire a warning shot." The Claw of Dominion's plasma lance, capable of melting through 30 meters of titanium carbide armor, lashed out across the void. It should have crippled the human ship's engines, leaving it helpless. Instead, the beam dissipated against a shimmering field that appeared to bend space itself around the human vessel. "Impossible," the weapons officer stammered. "Their defensive field. It's not deflecting our plasma. It's redirecting the energy through some kind of spatial fold. That technology is theoretical even for us." Before Zekthor could process this, the human ship moved. Not with the slow, predictable burn of conventional drives, but with a burst of acceleration that should have liquefied any organic crew. The Indomitable closed half the distance between them in seconds. "Evasive maneuvers!" Zekthor barked, but it was too late. The human ship didn't fire energy weapons. Instead, it launched what the sensors identified as primitive kinetic projectiles. Solid metal slugs propelled by chemical reactions. The Vraxian crew would have laughed if they'd had time. The first railgun round struck the Claw of Dominion's shields at a significant fraction of light speed. The impact sent shockwaves through the entire vessel. The second and third rounds followed microseconds later, hammering the same point until the shields collapsed. The fourth round punched through the armor plating and vented 3 decks to space. "Return fire. All batteries," Zekthor roared, his tactical superiority evaporating into panic. 7 Vraxian ships unleashed a coordinated barrage that would have vaporized a small moon. Plasma lances, particle beams, and antimatter missiles converged on the human battleship from multiple vectors, an attack pattern refined over millennia of warfare. The Indomitable twisted through the deadly light show with impossible agility. Its spatial fold drive allowed it to shift position in ways that violated every tactical doctrine Zekthor knew. When weapons did hit, that mysterious field bent space itself, causing the energy to miss by fractions of a degree that might as well have been kilometers. And then the humans started firing in earnest. Kinetic rounds tore through Vraxian shields like they weren't there. One cruiser exploded when a tungsten penetrator struck its reactor core. Another lost its entire forward section to a sustained railgun barrage. The humans weren't just fighting. They were dissecting the Vraxian formation with surgical precision. "How are they doing this?" Zekthor's tactical officer cried out. "They're primitives. Their technology shouldn't—" "They're not primitives," Zekthor interrupted, understanding flooding through him with cold dread. "They're survivors. Look at their doctrine." And he saw it then. The human ship didn't rely on a single advanced technology. Their spatial fold drive was brilliant, but it was paired with weapons that were thousands of years old in concept, refined, perfected, and turned into instruments of devastating efficiency. Their tactics weren't elegant or refined. They were brutal, practical, and terrifyingly effective. These weren't beings who had been handed technology by benevolent predecessors or purchased it from advanced traders. These were beings who had clawed their way up from a gravity well, fighting each other for resources, developing weapons meant to kill their own kind. Every system on that ship had been forged in the crucible of conflict. Another cruiser died, then another. "Open a channel," Zekthor ordered quietly. His flagship was listing. 3 of his 7 cruisers were destroyed, and the human vessel showed minimal damage. Captain Vasquez's face appeared on the screen. Bipedal, bilaterally symmetric, predatory eyes forward-facing. "A hunter species, of course. We surrender," Zekthor said. "Release our colonists and withdraw your blockade, or we'll reduce every vessel in this system to debris." Vasquez's expression didn't change. "You'll release the hostages. You'll withdraw immediately, and you'll mark this system as human territory in your databases. Do this and you can limp home. Refuse." She smiled, and Zekthor saw the same expression a prey animal might see in its final moments. "And you'll learn exactly why humans don't just survive, we dominate." Zekthor ordered the withdrawal. As his battered fleet retreated through the jump point, he sent a priority transmission to Concordat High Command. The message was simple. Humanity had entered the galactic stage, and they had brought with them something the civilized species of the galaxy had forgotten over millennia of relative peace. They had brought war, real war, and they were terrifyingly good at it. In the command chair of the Indomitable, Captain Elena Vasquez watched the alien fleet flee and allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had been studying the galactic community for decades through long-range observation, learning their technologies, understanding their weaknesses. The other species had grown complacent, soft. They thought they knew battle. They had no idea.